Assumption questions are often confused with grouping questions. So how do you tell them apart? The easiest way is to try and group them. For grouping questions, you'll be told that cows and ducks are equal, or there are twice as many cows as ducks, or anything that indicates the ratio or proportion of the animals, so you'll be able to form a group. For this question, you're only told the total number of animals, so you can't form a group. Therefore, it's quite likely an assumption question. There are three popular ways to solve this question: guess and check, the assumption method, and algebra. This video covers the assumption method, but in a more intuitive way so that even if you forget the steps, you might be able to figure it out on the spot. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to make use of a table, which will make it look like the guess and check method, but I promise you that it isn't. In the first column, we have cows, followed by ducks, and then total cows and ducks. The number of legs will be written in brackets. The first step is to assume that all the animals are cows. We can assume all are ducks as well, but for now let's stick with cows. Since there are 80 animals, we are going to assume that all 80 are cows. So the cows will have 320 legs because 80 times 4 is 320. If there are 80 cows, there must be 0 ducks, which means 0 legs as well. Total animals will be 80 and total legs will be 320. The question says that there are 310 legs in total, so this is obviously wrong. This is the most important part of the method. I've created a button. Whenever I press this button, I will get a duck. If I press this button once, I will get 1 duck. If I press it twice, I will get 2 ducks. Since the total number of animals must be 80, the cows will have to decrease by 1 whenever I press the button so that the total remains fixed at 80. I want to find out how many times I need to press the button to get the total number of legs from 320 to 310. To do that, I need to know how the total number of legs changes when I press the button once. So let's go ahead and press the button. Remember that when I press the button, I will get 1 duck, and that will give me 2 legs. Since the total animals is 80, I must have 79 cows. That means that the number of cow legs will decrease by 4, and I will have 316 cow legs. The total number of legs will be 316 plus 2, which is 318. So from here, you can see that when you press the button once, the number of legs decreases by 2. From our starting point, we need to decrease the legs by 10 because 320 minus 310 is 10. So we need to press the button 5 times because 10 divided by 2 is 5. Remember that we get 1 duck every time we press the button. So if we press the button 5 times, this means that we will get 5 ducks. The total number of animals is 80, so that means we must have 75 cows, because 80 minus 5 is 75, and that's our answer. We can easily double check the answer by just adding up the legs and making sure that it is 310. If we assume all are ducks, it's really almost the same thing. We get 1 cow when we press the button once. We find out how the number of legs change when we press the button once. Find how many more legs we need, and from there we can divide to find the number of times we need to press the button. Since we press the button 75 times, we get 75 cows. Double check the answer by adding up the legs. You can actually solve this question without drawing the table, and it will only take you about 4 to 5 steps. But this is precisely why it's so easy to get this question wrong. Because people are lazy, so they will always fall back to this method rather than using the table. The danger of using this method is that it's easy to get lost in the numbers. Firstly, are you absolutely sure that 75 represents the number of cows, or is it the ducks? Secondly, why do you take 4 minus 2 equals to 2 for this step? Sometimes you're required to add the numbers. So when do you add and when do you subtract? If you compare it with the table and button method, you can actually see that every step in this method corresponds to an action that you need to take in the table and button method, and the logic is a lot clearer. I'll explore variations of this question in subsequent videos where it will become more obvious whether you need to add or subtract for this step. Then you'll see why it's a lot easier to make the right choice when you draw the table. Understanding how to solve this question is not nearly enough. You need a lot of practice. It's just common sense. It might seem like a hard question now, but practice it enough times and you'll be able to solve it with your eyes closed. But where are you going to get enough examples to practice? Spiderweb Math is a website that I've created for my students which regenerates the same questions over and over again and is automatically marked. This way, you can just focus on getting the repetitions in. If you found this video useful, do consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video.